Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Monday evening, time for Crypto Talk. I nearly said good evening, family, because that's what it feels like. If you don't feel like family yet, sorry, where have you been? It feels like family on the call. I know most of you personally. I've met most of you, and for those I haven't met yet, we'll sort that out. Good evening, everybody. My name is Daniel van Zyl, and we at the Crypto School are privileged to host you tonight, and thank you for joining us on this call. And it's our privilege to serve you as a community. And for those of you who are on the morning calls, thank you for being on that. We have to rethink the whole morning call idea, and we're busy working on that with everything that we have. Even Craig there on holiday in Australia is giving his input. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jason, for being the main act there at the moment. And we will revisit that. But tonight, it's all about Crypto Talk. And my co-founder at the Crypto School, Marius Adams, is on holiday. And he's in Mabula. And the only reason I say that because I know someone that's holidaying in Mabula at the moment. And if you know someone that's holidaying in Mabula, you want to mention them. Jason, thank you for allowing the people in. The moment that you start talking, I will take over from you. Thank you for being my backup admin tonight. I appreciate that. And tonight we're just going to have a general discussion about crypto. And if you're new to the market, this is the right place to be. If you've been in the market for some time and you're as frustrated as some of the fellow Kryptonians in the market on this call, welcome as well. I've seen Sean Loudon coming to the call. I haven't seen you for so long, buddy. I've just been in Kruger for a week. I should have stopped at you, hey, when I saw your name coming into the call. I thought, I missed an opportunity to go visit you. But welcome, Sean, and welcome everybody to this call. It is Monday evening, as I said, Crypto Talk time. And tonight, we're going to assist and help you to understand a little bit of where we're at in the market. And believe you me, it's not that easy at the moment. It's not all clear cut. There's frustration. Things are not going the way that we think it go, and that's exactly when we need community. And thank you to everybody part of the community and chat that they're in the chat box. Please send regard to that, and it's lucky to see you. But tonight we talk about the crypto markets, and allow me to show it to you this way. Tonight my system asked me to update my audio, but I cannot do that now. Tonight, we talk about the crypto market in general. So we have a general discussion about the crypto market tonight, and allow me to introduce to you our subject matter expert on crypto trading at the Crypto School, our subject matter expert, Jason Ashington. And I know Jason for about nearly 5 years. It's already 5 years. And I look forward to being with Jason in the bush later this year in Kruger. We have the date set, and we're planning around it. And guys, girls, if there's one guy that you want to take with you around the fire in the bush, it is Jason. And for 5 years, I've been working up to a crescendo to this. It will happen this year in September, but allow me to come back. Sorry, I've been in Kruger for the week last week. So allow me to come back out of the bush and introduce you to the subject matter expert on crypto trading, Jason Ashington. Although his blood is green and it's not about the box, it's about the felt, it's about the bush, it's about the Kruger. Jason, I absolutely love that thing that we have in common. We have crypto, but we have something outside of crypto as well. And how beautiful is that, to treasure. And guys, girls, if you're in Kruger and you allow Jason to know that he is not putting pressure on you to see leopards, eh? I send him the most beautiful photos of cheetah playing with cups, African wildcat. No, those are cats. Show me the leopard. Jason, that I disappointed you in the photographs on leopards this trip. But in September, you can show me all about that. But ladies and gentlemen, allow me to get out of the bush. Jason, please get me out of my misery and tell us what's happening in crypto at the moment.
Thanks, Daniel. Good evening, everybody. And welcome, Sean. I haven't spoken to you for a long time. And funny enough, Daniel, the weather has changed today. We got suddenly a bit of a cold front coming through. And maybe that's why Sean is on the call. Just joking. If you look at people's emotions right now in general, people are getting frustrated. If we look at the Wall Street cheat sheet, Allow me just bring that up now quickly while I talk. The Wall Street cheat sheet talks about a period where there's depression. And I think we're very close to that. We're getting people starting to get depressed, all different types of emotions are starting to come through. And guess what happens after depression? The market starts to turn and starts to move up. So let me just bring this up here quickly so I can show you. So tell me if you can see my screen there. Okay, so if we have a look at this Wall Street cheat sheet, and what it is, if you just take any market, there's emotion in a market. If you see prices go up of a share or whatever, it's where greed starts to set in and the prices move up. When prices move down, that is when we start seeing panic set in, and that causes those red candles to go down. Now, this emotion can play off in long time frames and also shorter time frames. But if we just have a look and see what's happened in the last year and a half, where we've had a lot of instances where Bitcoin has moved from 30 up to 60, back down to 30, back up to 60, and that is just these emotions that are playing out. Now, what happened with Bitcoin, we were at 68,000 in November, and we could really say that is where euphoria stage was, because at that stage, all the altcoins are moving. You can see some of those coins are moving at 50, 60, 70% in a day. And at that stage, the retail is just piling in and buying and buying and buying. Andre, can you just check the waiting room for me, please, and just get the people in? Thanks. So that was in November. Then from the sort of 20th of November, we saw Bitcoin starting to move down. And if we look at the end of December, where we had that New Year's rally, that went into complacency. And since then, we have gone all the way down. When I spoke to some of our guys on the morning call 2 weeks ago, a lot of them said, we should have sold this coin 2 months ago. We should have sold that coin 3 months ago. So at that stage, 2 weeks ago, there was already a lot of anger in the market. People were expressing anger, what they should have done, but what they didn't do. They were heartless. And I think right now, we're coming down to this phase now, and it's the depression phase. It's depression, it's frustration, it's what it says here, my retirement money is lost. How can we pay all this new stuff? So when people look at their portfolios now, if they happen to look at their portfolios, they see that they're down by, with Bitcoin, they're down by 50%. If you're carrying altcoins, some of those altcoins are down 90%. So your portfolio could be down anywhere between 50 and 90%. And if you look at that as depression, you're now getting frustrated. You don't want to talk to your wife. You're scared she's going to ask you, what is the portfolio looking like? And that's where our emotions are right now. But guess what happens, guys, after depression? You'll find that the market will start moving up and will go up into disbelief. And this will all play over again, where we go from disbelief up to hope, optimism, belief, thrill, euphoria. And if you look at this cycle, it's exactly what's been playing out 2 or 3 times in the last 2 years, where we've gone from $30,000 for Bitcoin at depression, back up to 60, 70,000 euphoria, and back down again. And I promise you, this is going to play out again. The whales are more than happy to double their money 2 or 3 times in a year, where they buy Bitcoin at 30 and they sell it at 60. And they're repeating this over and over again. So this time, as remember, we need to make sure that we sell. We mustn't get caught up in what the retail are doing. When you see Plan B talking about Bitcoin going to $130,000 by the end of the month now, that they are pushing that news out. They're creating that excitement. They are selling to you because you're excited. You want to buy more. But guess what? The whales are selling to you. So we're not going to get caught this time, are we, Daniel?
Definitely not, Jason. And thank you for just reminding us of the cheat sheet. And I have a copy of it on my desk. Every person that enters my office, every person that I Zoom with, that is something that I hold up to them. And it's important for us to look at that. But Jason, please go and interpret that into the market and into your trading view for us, please.
Sure, I'll do that. Let's just have a look at the short time frame. And last week was the 7th of March. And that was over here, the 7th of March. Yeah, so we were pretty much the same price that we are today. You can see last week, Wednesday, we did try to push up. We hit resistance at 42,430 and came back down on Thursday and we have pretty much gone sideways again. But I think we are very close. When I say very close, we are, a week, 2 weeks maybe away from actually starting to push up. If we go on to bigger time frames here, and if we just have a look at a bit of history here, and I'm going back to July last year, where we were right down at 30. You can see we are creating at the moment higher lows, higher low, higher low. If this market was in a bear market, we wouldn't be creating higher lows. We would actually be creating lower lows. So that is one positive, that we are starting to trend up. Now, if I go and where I spoke around those instances where the whales are distributing and accumulating, we can clearly see that in February to May last year, we had an instance of distribution where the whales offloaded over a period of time. You must remember they can't offload in one go because this market's small. It's only 1.6 trillion big. And if you look at Apple shares, for example, on the American stock market, one share, one company, I should say, is worth 3 trillion. So we pretty much half of what Apple's valuation is, just in crypto. So it's a small market, and the whales can't just offload and accumulate quick. They have to take their time to do that. And this is the process that they follow. Anytime the market starts to drop, they try and push it up again because they're trying to create a higher price to offload every single time. And then the opposite happens. When it comes down and they accumulate at 30,000, that's also a process. Over 2 months, they accumulate. They then push price back up again, back up to 60,000, and then they distribute again. And guess what's happened now? You can see we've created a higher high, but once again, we've got a period here where they are accumulating. And sure as hell, we're probably going to see the market move up very, very close. If we have a look at, I've got this model here, and it's based off a schematic. And what I've just showed you here with this accumulation and distribution, a distribution schematic on bigger time frames is actually happening, where we're going to possibly see a drop of Bitcoin back down to 20,000 or even below 20,000. And this is a model that I got here and a bit of a roadmap. Now, right now, we're in this up and down phase, and we're going to possibly see a price start moving up. And I think our first sort of target will be the retracement of 618, which is a retracement level between the high in November and the low in the 24th of January. And we get that at 55,000. We also got a massive candle here to the downside on the 3rd of December, where there's a liquidity that needs to be captured there. That's also telling me that we will go up here and find resistance point there. And you can see here in the past year, there's been strong support and strong resistance. So I think 55,000 as a first sort of target will be very strong resistance. And I personally will be taking profits at there because we're not too sure from there whether the market's going to drop or whether we're going to carry on going up and possibly go hit 75,000, which is the extension of 2.61 Fibonacci extension to the upside, or the 3.61 at 88. There's a possibility this moves up higher. And I would say that as probabilities, we are possibly going to go up to 75. But nonetheless, I'll be selling some at 55. If we break 55, I'll climb back in the market. I haven't lost anything. I might have lost a few coins, but I can make that back again when we drop again. So this is a sort of roadmap that I personally see that's possibly going to play out. If we go and look at some other evidence here, and I'm going to go through to look at the DXY. Now, the DXY is the dollar index. It's a measurement of how strong the dollar is, US dollar. And I've got a model here that dates back to the beginning of 2017. Now, we can all remember what happened in crypto from January 2017 to December 2017. We had that massive bull run. And when money goes into the market, it will come out of fiat. And because we're measuring dollars here, obviously when it comes out of the dollar, it weakens the dollar. So if we have a look at this graph here, this chart here, in the beginning of January, we were right up at 104. And by the end of 2017, we went right down to 89. So the dollar weakened over a period of 12 months. In 2020, we had the same scenario where crypto started moving, came out of the US dollar, and it weakened the dollar. Now we've got this trend resistance line, this blue line that comes down, that is connecting the highs here. And it connected this resistance point at 100 here, and it's come down again. Now currently we're right at the top here, right against resistance. We're against this trend line, plus this 100 is a very strong resistance. And if I go on to the daily, for example, you can see that we hit resistance last week. We did come back down. We've gone back up and we've hit the resistance again. And you can see that that candle's now turning red. But what is interesting, if we go on to the 3-day and we have a look at one of the indicators, which is called the relative strength indicator, and we have a look at what the relative strength indicator is telling us, and you can see here in November last year, we're at 77 on the RSI, whereas right now we're at 70. Yet price, if I can call it price, was lower in November last year at 96 compared to the 99 right now. We have gone up in price, but the indicator, the strength, is telling us that we actually gone down. So this is a bearish indicator. This indicator is telling us that we should actually be turning around and start trending down. Now, if we start trending down and we resume that downtrend, that is going to be very bullish for the markets, including crypto. So that's one indicator that's telling us that. If we go and look at the stock market, the S&P 500, and we are taking a lead from the stock markets, and I'm going to go on to the daily. We had this New Year's rally going up to the end of December, and since then you can see with the stock markets, we are trending down, and we're in a channel here on the S&P 500. With these type of channels, we normally have a 68% chance of a break to the upside. Now, I want you to have a look at the RSI from this date here, the 22nd of January versus now. The RSI is trending up, whereas price is trended down. So once again, the stock market is telling us that is not confirming this price decline, which the RSI is trending up. So this is telling us that we are possibly turn around and price is now going to follow the RSI to the upside. So that is looking very bullish as far as the indicator is concerned. The Dow Jones is telling me the similar story. You can see that RSI is starting to trend up, whereas price is trended down. So even though we've got this war and there's a whole lot of uncertainty out there and stock markets are taking a hit, there's no confirmation here to say that we should be going down. It's actually the opposite here. The RSI is starting to trend up. Possibly the whales are driving price down here to accumulate a lower price and then once again push the markets back up again. Okay, let's just have a look at quickly at the total market cap. I did mention to you earlier that we're in a small market. If we have a look here at the end of November, we went up to 3 trillion. We came all the way down to 1.5 at the end of January. We retested again on the 24th of February. And at the moment, we had 1.68 trillion. Now, as I say, Apple shares, their market cap is over 3 trillion. So one company is almost double what crypto markets. So we are very, very early in the space, number one. But because we've got whales and institutions in this market, it's very difficult for them to buy and sell. So they have to do it over a period of time. And that's why we want to see prices starting to move up. You know, that's what we want. and they are keeping the prices suppressed on purpose. They want you to sell now. They want you to give up on crypto. They want you to sell the Bitcoin to them so they can buy it. And this is where the emotions start coming in, where we have to start controlling your frustration, your depression, and you need to have diamond hands and not spinach hands at this stage. So, Donnie, that's really from my side what I see in the market. If we have a look at the Fear and Greed Index, and this is a measure of the sentiment out there, for the retail sentiment based on Bitcoin and the major altcoins, you can see we're sitting at 23, and this dial represents extreme fear. If we have a look at the graph at the bottom there for the last year, and this graph shows us that when we get down to these lower levels, or these high levels, there's a period of accumulation or distribution where these whales are accumulating at these lower levels. And then when we get to high level, they are distributing over a period of time. And right now they're doing the same thing. They're accumulating. And then after that, we'll start pushing the price. This dial starts moving to the green, where we go into greed and extreme greed. And that is where you get your every person on the street now wanting to buy crypto once this dial has got to here. Too late. That's where we should be selling. And then the last one was crypto bubbles for the week. And this is on the top 100. We have seen some wonderful moves in some coins. 4chain 70% up for the week. Luna 14. Zcash of all coins 37%. Waves 20%. And then we've got TFIL 7, and we've got some smaller ones here. So it's not all totally doom and gloom. There are some greens starting to push through here. And this market was really bearish. We will not see these greens there, really. So I'm still very positive, but it's all about controlling emotions right now and not being too frustrated.
Yeah. Thank you, Jason. And what a easy, nice explanation to where we are in the market. And thank you, Jason. We always love your insights and the way that you just have the knack to use the charts to talk, and you just put the words to the talking that the charts are doing. And we so much appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Lee, for saying amazing charting. And Jason, from where I met you 4 or 5 years ago to where you're at today, I have to tip my hat and say, buddy, your growth is phenomenal, and your insights and the way that you put that to us as the community is very much appreciated. So thank you. Thank you for that. And we all are in agreement. We are a bit frustrated. I had a call this afternoon from a client or a fellow Kryptonian. I call them clients because of the world that I come from, but I should not call them clients because it's not clients. It's just fellow Kryptonians. So my apology for referring to the word client sometimes. The other day, a broker that's on the call asked me, but who do you call clients? Because I hear you talk about clients. It's not clients, it's our community, it's Kryptonians. But for me, in my head, everyone in crypto is a client because we just talk about crypto. So my apology for using the incorrect word. But our fellow Kryptonians, I had to chat this afternoon with someone that is so frustrated because he's a well-respected businessman in his community. He understands money, he understands unlocking value, and he got into crypto at the high, at 69,000 Bitcoin price. And he bought a significant amount of Bitcoin and a significant amount of Ethereum, and he's dejected because he's 55% down on his capital. And never in his life has he been for nearly 6 months out of capital on investments that he's made, because that's not allowed in the company that he holds. And he's very frustrated. So I had to really sternly talk to him this afternoon to say, just keep your crypto. You haven't lost anything. Go look at your amount of Bitcoin that you own. It's exactly the same as when you purchased it. Go look at the amount of Ethereum you own. It's exactly the same as the amount that you purchased when you purchased it. The dollar value make you feel. So the whales make you feel that you should get out of the market now. Why? They want to take up that 55% that you put in the market for them. They want to accumulate that 55%. And Jason, I love it when you talk about the accumulation and the distribution, because I can see it and I understand it. after listening for you so many times. And my apology, I'm a slow learner, but I've got that one now. And thank you for that. But ladies and gentlemen, Jason, is there something that you would like to add as a final word before I go to the young gun? Cool. So ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce the young gun tonight to you, our crypto trading young gun in the crypto school, and none other as Andre. Andre, we had problems with your connection earlier tonight, but ladies and gentlemen, our young gun, a well-respected young man that's done a meteoric rise in crypto since my birthday last year when he got into crypto. And Andre, you prepared some stuff to share with us tonight, so please go ahead, buddy.
First of all, I don't know what you said, what rise, but I presume it's something good. Yeah, guys, I'm on the farm. My signal isn't too good, so bear with me if it doesn't work, or just let me know if you can't see everything that I'm doing. But first of all, before we start, I would just like you guys to remember, USDT is also a trade. To be in dollars is also a trade. And since the beginning, everybody that gets into crypto, and I think Jason and Umdani, you can also vouch for that, is you want your money to work for you. You can't let your money sit on the side. You want your money in crypto because it has to work for you. And that is probably one of the first things you have to get out of your head, because that isn't how it works. Because to be in dollars is also a trade. And I'm not for dollars, I'm just saying that. And that helps you to get your FOMO out of your system. So yeah. What I actually wanted to talk to you guys about is, you guys remember the strategy we have for the people that has a day job and that wants to invest in crypto. And we have that strategy to dollar cost average. So every month, so we said, for instance, and I'm not going to go too much in detail, but we said, okay, so every month, for instance, you put aside 1,000 Rand and you pay it over to altcoin trader. So then you split that up and you buy, we said buy Bitcoin and Ethereum, but it doesn't matter. I'm just going to use Bitcoin to have you guys understand what I'm meaning. So you pay that 1,000 Rand over and you use 500 Rand and you buy Bitcoin. You don't worry what the price is. And then the other 500 Rand you put in an order like 10% lower than the price. 2 weeks later, if that order didn't fill, you cancel that order and buy at what the price is currently. And that is one of the best ways to invest. And I was playing around a bit this weekend with the charts, because my strategy, and I don't have money to invest every month, but my strategy is to invest in the 618786 zone. And you guys are probably tired of that 61 I'm always talking about, and that's on the FIB tools. But what that basically means is, and you can go what the FIB analysis. So 618 is basically from the bottom you're using, and the top is basically 61% down. And I'll quickly share my screen. And wait, before I do that. So what I did is, because that's my strategy, I don't invest in a coin unless it goes to that area. So I thought, okay, but why can't we add that into that dollar cost averaging strategy of us? Let me just share my screen. And I haven't shared this with Umdani or Jason. I haven't shared this with anyone actually. And this is like a nice little chat we have here tonight. And I'm gonna ask them what they think, guys. And if you think, Andre, you are stupid, don't do that, it's not gonna work, you can tell me that. I think, yeah, I like it. So let's see what happens. So you guys can see my trading view?
We can see.
So this actually is...
We can see your...
Okay.
Your WhatsApps. You're not seeing your WhatsApps, yes.
Okay, nice. That's exactly what you have to see. Maybe it's better to see the WhatsApps. Okay. Then you can probably see, I asked someone to bring me some coffee. Hey, I have my coffee actually, so it worked. So this is my trading view, and you can see here, this is the high from 2013. And what my strategy is, what I thought about this, I don't want to invest all the way up here in this bull run. I don't want to invest here because I know with my strategy, the price always comes back to the 618 and 786 zone. So what I said is, and I went to the website, there's a website where you can calculate if you a dollar cost average, how much return would you have and all that stuff. So I went and calculated all of this, and I'm not going to go into that because then it gets confusing. So what I said is, When you take the bottom to the top, once it reaches this, and this box here you'll see here is the 618786 zone. So once it reaches this area, then you would dollar cost averaging. You don't worry what the price is, and it has to be below the 618 zone. Then you would dollar cost average. Doesn't matter what the price is, it's going to go lower. You don't worry, because you're dollar cost averaging in this area. I heard myself there, but it's probably from Facebook. But anyways, so then you dollar cost average in that area, and you'll see here, and you're probably asking like, what? Okay, how do you know to get out? All of that stuff. And I'm going to go into that now. And this is on the weekly actually. And then it went up. Now, hindsight is always an easy thing to go and check, but I hope you guys will understand what I mean now. So here you'll see I have this box here, and I'll quickly zoom out a bit. And every time with RSI went into this box, this area, we were at a sort of a high. Let me just go here. Sorry guys, this is probably looking confusing, but you can see we went there, it was at that high, there it was at that high. You can see it's more or less at the tops, and you don't want to get out at the peak and get into at the bottom. It's not going to work. You're never going to get that. So I just drew in this box, and actually it's a bit too small, yeah, because I want to get that peaks, yeah. So what I said is, so when you get into this box area, then you can take out your money, and you can actually go and study it a bit more and understand how the market works and what. So you can see here, you invested here, and I went back and I make the calculations. So for instance, I used a part where I invested $25 every 2 weeks in this area actually. So every time we went into this zone, and this is actually, this fib line is actually from this, wait, we didn't select. So this fib is actually from this bottom to that. Every time it went into this box, then I invested. And this is the 618 box and 786. And even when it went below, I invested. Boom, when it went above, I didn't invest. Didn't invest, there I invested. And then we broke through, and so then you see here, we went into this RSI box. You can take some profit there, take some profit there. You can see we actually made a divergence there. And that's a bit confusing if you don't know anything about charting. But I think this is a really brilliant way to get out of the market and see. And this is on the weekly. And another thing you can actually do, as makes it a lot easier as well. And this is on the fib tool as well. And you guys probably know this. And let me just open it, make it a bit clearer for you guys. Fib tool. Okay, we don't have the 23.6. Sorry guys. Just want to make it a bit brighter. 23.6. There we are. Okay, so the strategy is for taking profit is, once we open and closes below the 23.6, then you know you should get out actually. And we went boom, open and closed below the 23.6, then you can get out of the market. And that is a really great tool, because why wouldn't you want to get out of the market there? And that is just from that area, 23.6 there, it was that area that you've had from that box there to there, that's 6,000%. That's in the beginning of Bitcoin. Obviously, we're not going to get that now. With this one, let me just delete that. From Donnie, you guys can tell me if I'm confusing you. So you can take that from that bottom. That was the March top 2020. From the top there, we opened and closed below this area, and you can get out. I know that's not the same things as what it was, but if you saw it opened and closed, that's between 400 and 600%. I see I lost you guys.
You lost us for a little moment, but as you lost us, you came back. As Jason unmuted to fill in there for you, you back. Jason, if you want to add something, please go ahead.
No, you can carry on. Carry on, Andre.
Okay, what I did, and you guys probably, you more or less, you understand what I actually mean. So for me, I invest in the 618-786 zone. And I use this, and I'm not going to say that word. I use this thesis of mine, and I didn't invest. But what? Oh, another thing. So for instance, you want to invest 1,000 Rand, and I did it in dollars. So I invested every 2 weeks, $25 in these areas. And when I weren't investing in crypto, I still transferred my money, for instance, to altcoin trader. And then for each month I weren't investing it, I were also cashing that money there. So once the money, the market went back into this area, you can deploy that money in the market as well, in the 61876 area. So what I got was, and this is just roughly, guys, I was really tired actually when I was doing this. So roughly in this area, I spent about $2,000. I can't remember, $2,000 and well, $2,200, sorry. And all of the areas where I didn't invest in the 61876 area, I saved about $1,000 on altcoin trader where I didn't invest the money. Till this area where you can see you can get out of the market. And that was about $3,400 or $3,300 overall that I invested with the money that's in Bitcoin and the money that's just laying in altcoin trader. And then that money was worth $14,000. So this is I think this is a really good strategy. And because I know it feels really bad when you invest, you have to invest all the way when it goes up and you don't know if you're investing at the top. And like, guys, who doesn't want to make that much money with just like that investing? And I'm so sure of this that I actually want to do this with my own savings that I'm trying to save, for instance, for my car, for tires and stuff like that. I want to do that when we get into this area. Okay, so now I'm open for discussion. And yeah, there's probably a lot of stuff that's not right with this strategy, but I think there's nice stuff with this.
Thank you, Andre. I appreciate that. And we lost you here and there, but I've got you. Jason, comments from you, and then we'll open the mic for the community to ask Andre a question or two.
Yeah, so what Andre showed, I think it's higher grade. A lot of people don't understand how to use a Fibonacci tool, but what I heard from somebody else, what strategy they used, and it is somebody else, and they started with the strategy at the end of 2017. What they would do is they'll put an X amount, and it's the same amount in to Bitcoin on the same day on a monthly basis. So if they got paid, for example, on the 30th of each month, they would put X amount in on the 30th into Bitcoin, regardless of the price. And they did that right through 2018, 2019, they're still doing it. And I think the guy's average right now is at $6,000. That is where his average is. So you can even use time to your advantage by putting a X amount in, the same amount in on a monthly basis, into a certain coin, and to get a nice average price. So that's also a strategy, Donnie.
Cool. Thank you, Jason. And yes, I agree with you. But Andre, tonight you've given me a different insight. I've never used the Fibonacci tool in that. I've always just gone depending on what the crypto has done in the previous market and what the chart is telling me. I've gone either 6, 8, or 10%, even in 1-2 cases, a 12% lower purchase for half the money for the middle of the month. On the 15th, I go check if the order executed. If it didn't execute, I just cancel the order in total and I buy at that specific price on the 15th. So different from your strategy is I will buy every month at the beginning of the month and I will buy every 15th. In your strategy, if I understand it correctly, if it's not in the 618, you will not buy that month, or the 387 zone. You will not buy that month. I purchase beginning of the month, half the money immediately, half of it in the different coins that I want to buy, depending on the amount of capital. And the other half, I will set an order for the 15th of the month. On the 15th of the month, if that did not execute, I will cancel the order and execute at the exact price at that moment. But I've learned a different view from you tonight, Andre, and I will go and look at that for me to work it out myself and to go and see. And I like where you're going with this, because all of a sudden I use the tools that I have, and the tool will guide me. If the coin is in the buy zone, I will buy it. But my question to you, Andre, is will you, the first half of the money, let's say for someone contributing a 10,000, let's just use 10,000 Rand for this example. Please, if you can only do 1,000 Rand a month or 500 Rand a month, it doesn't matter. I just want to use it 10,000 to make it easy for myself to understand this. But Andre, am I correct in saying that whenever you put your money in the beginning of the month, you will buy 50% regardless of where the Fibonacci tool is, or will you keep everything until it's in the buying zone? So what I, Jörn, will go check is to buy whenever the end of the month is. Doesn't matter what the price is, 50% at that moment, but the other 50% I go put in the box, the box in the Fibonacci tool where I should get in. And if it doesn't go in there, it doesn't matter. I just leave it there until. So every month, half of my money will go into the market at the current price, and half of it will go into whatever my Fibonacci tools say should be in the buying zone. And that will accumulate. It might be 2-3 months before I hit a buy there because of the coin being in the price range. Or do you do that for the beginning of the month value as well?
That's actually, if I understand you correctly, that's actually a brilliant plan as well. Because with my strategy, what I shared with you guys is that you don't invest at all if it isn't in the 618, below the 618. But if you want to be a bit more risky, you can actually take half of your money, that what you want to invest, and you can actually invest at the current price, doesn't matter where it is in the FIB. And then the other 50%, you can save it up for when it gets into that 618, 786 zone. So that's actually also a brilliant strategy to even it out. And guys, it looks really busy and it looks really hard to understand this FIB tool. It really isn't, guys. All you have to know is you just go play around a bit. And if it goes below the 618 and 786, you invest. If you're past the 618, 786 zone, and you're making higher highs and they're at the all-time highs, you don't know where you are currently, you just take the bottom till the top, and then when the candle closes and opens below the 23.6, then you take profit, and then you can invest once it gets lower again. So that's just, it looks really hard, but it really isn't, guys. It really isn't.
Andre, I'm going to give you a challenge on behalf of the community tonight. And I'm going to ask you to, in 2 weeks from now, have us a little presentation on this and go through your strategy again in 10-15 minutes and go talk about the Fibonacci, put it down. Just go take one example. Don't go do different examples. Do one example, say, this is how I will put the Fibonacci tool on the chart, and this is my buying zone. And at the beginning of the month, this is what I will do. In the middle of the month, this is what I do. Or I do nothing. I just leave it in that box until we get below the 618 to buy. So if we can ask you to in 2 weeks time, next Monday, we don't have a crypto talk. I don't know if you know that yet, Andre, Jason, but I've given you off for next Monday. I've signed off on your leave forms because next week, Monday, is the day after my wedding anniversary, and the day after my wedding anniversary is a public holiday. So that's how I know it's a public holiday, because it's my wedding anniversary the day prior. And I had big plans for this honeymoon story. So I married the day before a public holiday, and to make the most out of it. So I know next Monday is a public holiday. So guys, I'll give you off next Monday. But the week after that, Andre, will you come back with us? Exactly what you've done tonight, but take one example and just talk us through one example through the money in the bank and how it goes in and where, and allow us to refresh on that for everyone. And I assume that people will find that to be of their liking. Jason, comments from your side before I go back to Andre?
No, I think you covered it there, Donnie.
Cool. Thank you, Jason. Andre, your last words on what you've shared with us tonight before we go back to Jason. He's still got a little bit to share with us. But thank you, Andre. I love the insight that you've given me. I've seen a total different thing. You heard that I've just split or twisted what you said by buying in any case in the beginning of the month, because it doesn't matter where the market is going, because I would have invested 100%, buy 50%, leave the 50% in the buy zone for the Fibonacci tool, and leave it there. Wait for it for the price to come find you in your buy zone under the 618. And so, yeah, thank you, Andre.
Yeah, if I can just say, remember, there is no perfect strategy. And and again, I said it earlier as well. You don't want to get in at the bottom. You don't want to get out at the top. It's impossible. You won't be able to do that. This is just some easy strategy for guys that's not trading the market. They just purely want to invest it and don't want their dollars or their rands to depreciate. And so this is just that. And there's probably someone that's smarter than me. Like there is definitely a lot of people smarter than me. But this is just a strategy, and you can use another strategy. It doesn't matter. But if I know there's a lot of people that ask you, and there's a lot of people that ask me, can't I trade for them, or can I help them? How do they do this? How do I do that? And the fact is, like, I think 90% of all the people that trade lose their money within the first, how many? 9 months or 6 months? I'm not sure what the statistics is. So it is hard, guys, especially on your emotions. And this is just an easy strategy to get rid of that emotions. And if you have a job.
Cool. Thank you, Andre. I appreciate that. And allow me to just share with you our YouTube channel. Remember our YouTube channel, and it's imperative that you help us. We have 160 subscribers out of our community, and go every Monday. We put the crypto talk on there for you to go and share with the people in your community, to go and share. And we purely here to assist and help. And you can hear Jason, Andre, we are all part of the community. We just part like any one of you. If you have a good strategy that you would like to come and share with us, you're welcome. Please come share with us. Bring your strategy to the table and come share with us. And before I go back to Jason, remember our our website, thecryptoschool.co.za. Go and register for the free stuff, because the moment that you register for the free stuff on our landing page, you can go into this page, and there are different things. Today, again, I had to help and assist someone to get into Altcoin Trader, to open the accounts. It's easy. Register for the free stuff, go to wallets and payments, how to use Altcoin Trader. Just go watch that video and you're up and running in your Altcoin Trader. If you need any help with Altcoin Trader, reach out to me. I can help you. If you struggle with your KYC or anything in Altcoin Trader, reach out. We can help you. We can assist you. We have got a direct line that is quicker than the email that you have into Altcoin Trader. But that's why we're a community. And enough ranting from me about what we offer and share and help or assist you with. Jason, you still have some part of the work to do for us. So please share with us.
Thanks, Donnie. And you used a key word there called strategy. And I've been a bit frustrated today, not because, a bit about the markets, but more importantly is that part of our community, we've got about 250 to 300 people. And when we have our calls, we've only got a fraction of those people on the calls. And it's frustrating in the sense that, people should be on these calls and learning. They should be educating themselves. But more importantly, as I said, we see some upside in the market, and people should be getting their strategy in order right now. They can't have their strategy once Bitcoin gets to $60,000 and then want to get into the market, because I've shown you it's too late. And that's where I've seen a bit of frustration come through today for myself. But nonetheless, just to help you with your strategy for those people that haven't had their strategy, I just wanted to share something with you. And I'm going to share with you the flow of money in crypto. So if you have a look here, how it flows from fiat and coins like USDT, which are stable coins. It first goes into Bitcoin. From Bitcoin, it goes into the large caps, ethereum, the majors, NEOs, XRP, those sort of coins. From there, it goes to the mid caps, and then it goes to the low caps. Now, once we can start seeing the flow go out of Bitcoin into the large caps, that's when the excitement comes into the market, because we know that these alternative coins move much quicker than Bitcoin. And we don't see a 40% move in Bitcoin in one day, but you do definitely see a 40% move in some of these altcoins. And when you see your capital grow at 40% a day, and the next day another 40%, that's really where the excitement comes in. Now, we need to be looking at this chart to start strategizing. What is our strategy going to be, when we move out of fiat and stable now into the, into Bitcoin or into the altcoin? So if we have a look for some keys, if we look at this chart, it's called the Bitcoin dominance chart. And what it measures how strong Bitcoin is in the total market amongst the rest of the coins. I think at the moment there's 17,000 coins. So it measures how strong Bitcoin alone is out of the total market cap of 1.6 trillion. And you can see at the moment we are at 43.65%. And this is now the daily chart. And we've been in a rising channel here since the 23rd of January, where we've been going up. And since the beginning of March, we've been pretty much going sideways, and we've been between sort of 43% and 44% up and down. But what this chart is also showing me here, if we have a look at the RSI, we had a higher high on the 27th of January, but a lower price on the 27th of January versus now. So the higher RSI, that's trending down, and yet we've started moving up. So this is telling me on the daily that this is bearish divergence. So at some stage, this is now going to possibly drop to the downside. And with a rising channel, there's a 68% chance of that, where money is now going to flow out of the Bitcoin and start going into the larger caps, into the mid caps, into the lower caps. Now, when will this take place? Now, it can take place when we break this channel line and start breaking down. But I've also got here, and if we go and have a look back, we've got a orange line that comes all the way from July last year. And you can see how the dominance has been trending down, where Bitcoin has actually got weaker, and that turned around in January this year and started trending up. Now we've got this orange resistance line coming down, and we also got this red block here that has acted previous support that is now turned into resistance. Now I think, and it's a personal feeling, that we're going to carry on trending up and hit this resistance point over here. And then from that resistance point, we will start trending down, where the flow will come out of Bitcoin and then start going into those alternative coins. So if you want to mark up your chart, this is possibly a good way to mark it up, is to put these channel lines in, a break of this channel to the downside. That means the flow is starting to now come out of Bitcoin. Bitcoin's getting weaker and starting to flow into altcoins. And also the second point, if we get rejected here at the top here and we're starting to trend down and we break through this, that is also a good key to say that the money is now flowing into the alternative coins. So you need to start putting your strategy together right now. What coins are you going to start to buy once these alternative coins start to run? Because as I said, you need to try and get in as best price as possible, because we know that the big gains are to be made, once these coins are starting to move. It doesn't start to help to try and climb in once those coins are starting to move at 30-40% in a day, because at that time it's very difficult. Because as quick as it's going up, you do sometimes get pullbacks in the market before moving up again. You want to try and get in as best price as possible. So you need to know right now, what coins are you going to be looking at? Once we're starting to see Bitcoin start moving back up over 40, 42, break through that resistance, 44 up again. And then possibly once we get to 44, 46, I should say, 48, we could possibly see the flow of money coming out of Bitcoin at that stage and come back into the altcoins. So the last point I wanted to show you is really around Bitcoin. What's it going to do this week? I think we're going to have one more small drop in the market, and that drop could possibly come down to this blue line here. Another drop down to this blue line here. You can see this blue line is acting as support from the 24th of January. And that sort of price is going to be at sort of what we saw this morning, about 37,700. It could even come down a week down to 36,400 before going back up again. So I see us possibly dropping down here this week and then coming up again. And then hopefully after the FOMC meeting on Wednesday, and it's going to be positive, we're going to start seeing some movement in the markets to the upside from there. And that's it.
Yes, cool. Thank you, Jason. And you just have a knack, as I said earlier, of making it so simple. And I could really see the chart doing exactly what you're saying, because if I pull that, extend that channel, visually extend that channel to you, to that orange line that you have there, it's exactly what you described there. So I can see that happen. And thank you for that. And thank you for your insights tonight. Andre, thank you for your insights tonight. And I'm going to ask each of you for a last comment to close this talk tonight. And unfortunately, that's the time that we have for tonight. Andre, last comments from you.
Yeah, guys, I just see there was a question from Steven for if this strategy, how does it look in the bear market or the bear cycle? And this is especially for the bear cycle. And I'm not going to show my charts because it's going to take too much time, but go check from January 2018 until 2019, June 2020. Then you'll see how long that 618786 box was there and how long it was valid. So go check that on your chart. So from 2018 to 2020, then you'll see it. So guys, yeah, I hope it wasn't too much for you guys, but yeah, let's see you guys in 2 weeks. And thanks from Donnie, thanks Jason for all of the stuff you're doing for us and the community, and have a great evening.
Cool. Thank you, Andre. We absolutely appreciate the young gun in the team. Thank you for your insights, and thank you for your preparation for 2 weeks' time. Don't forget that. Make a note. You have off next Monday to prepare. Thank you. Then, Jason, last comments from you for the evening. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, Daniel. Guys, there's a lot of instances, if we look back in history, where charts have front-run the fundamentals. So where the charts are showing us information before the fundamental news has actually hit the market. And for us at this time, the charts are telling us that we are ready to move in crypto. The charts are telling us that we are ready to have a short move back up again. When I say short, I'm talking about time frame. In short, maybe 6 months. It's not going to be a 1.5 years of upside. And I think we need to, as a community, we need to prepare for that time. We need to be ready to make sure that we get in the best prices possible, make sure our strategy is in place. And when we get to the $70,000 level, we need to be making sure that we are taking profits, on the way up to that level. And we're not going to be like holding on like we have previously. And we're not going to be like retail that get in at 70. We need to be working with like these whales are working, and we need to be taking profits at the top. That's all from me, Donnie.
That's a mouthful, Jason, and thank you for that. We do appreciate you and what you contribute. And I was just going to put in the Crypto School YouTube channel in there, but I see that Andre has beaten me to that. I've got it on the screen at the moment. Go to our YouTube channel. Remember to subscribe and remember to hit the bell so that you get the alerts. Go to our Facebook channel, the Crypto School RSA. Make sure you go to the Crypto School RSA. And ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, almost every week we have scammers that duplicate our webpage, that give comments in the chat box that will give you so many Bitcoin or so many Ethereums. We don't give away our Bitcoin and our Ethereums. As a matter of fact, we don't have enough yet. We're holding it for ourselves. So we're not giving it away. So don't believe the scammers. They duplicate our page. They talk to you as if it is the Crypto School. But I promise you, we're not giving away our Bitcoin yet. Maybe later. So go look at our Facebook page, the Crypto School RSA. And the last one is the website where you can subscribe and then get access to the free stuff. All our videos will be available for you on the YouTube channel. So if you missed tonight, you can go watch it on Facebook, but it's long there. If you go watch it on YouTube channel, you can watch it at 1.5 speed. Then you don't have to listen as slow as I talk. You can hear everything that I say to the speed that Andre is doing it, which is for me double speed. For Andre, it's just normal speed. But thank you, guys. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Andre. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for our team, for the community. We appreciate you. Without a community, we don't have a crypto talk. So, ladies and gentlemen, have a good evening. Thank you very much. Have a super week. And remember, next week, Monday, I give you the day off. So have a long weekend. Go and enjoy it. Thank you, guys. Green candles for the week. Bye-bye.